Welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're going to drop a truth bomb. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and warcry content as well. Everything from news, reactions, and reviews to painting, conversion tutorials, and of course commissions going out of the studio. That being said, let's jump right in. I do want to warn you though, if you're new to the channel, I keep it real around here. So when Games Workshop does something good, I'm the first one to get their back and, give them a little pat on the back. But when they F it up, I'm going to call them on their moves every time. And this to me is a huge F up. So I just got the official pricing on the Eldrich Omens box set. This is already looking just like the Black Templars box set all over again. So we're looking at a box with basically the new rules for a couple Eldar and possibly Chaos models as well. We're looking at some new sculpts and what we amounted to basically around, well, we'll go through the breakdown on the actual value that comes in the set. But I officially just got the pricing on this new set, and it's a total joke. It's $199 USD. So just looking at this stuff, I mean, it's very clear that GW is back to the pay-to-play. So, we have the new Shroudrunner jet bikes. We have the new Rangers, the new Autarch. We have the new Chosen, the old Forgefiend, Maulerfiend, and then of course we have the oh my gosh, I can never think of his name. Oh, I can't think of his name. But the new character right here, the Chaos Tech Marine. So we're basically looking at two characters at $35 a piece. That's $70. We know this is 75, so that is 145. So we know there's 145 right there. So if we say that these Chaos Marines are going to be 50, the Rangers are going to be 50, and these are going to be 60, that's still another 160 plus 145. So that's 305. And that's high-end pricing. Like charging $50 for these Rangers seems high to me. Charging $50 for the Chosen seems high to me. I think 45 is probably more realistic, and even $60 for the bikes seems a little out there, but I wouldn't put it past them. So if we say 45, 45, and 60, that's 150 plus our 70 right here. That's 220 plus the Forgefiend, Maulerfiend, 75, 295, and they're coming in at 200 for this box set. I mean, it's still a good deal overall if you want everything out of this box set. But I mean, probably if you wanted a Forgefiend or Maulerfiend, you would have already bought it. So in all reality, there's two ways to look at this. They're either making you, giving you a free Forgefiend if you buy everything else at retail price, or basically like just putting some tax to clear out some old stock, or they're basically just not giving you that great of a deal because, well, they know that you'll pay for it for early access to all these models. So it just puts it in a weird spot because now you have, I don't know. It's the weird thing is the $25 to me is not that big of a deal. The difference between, or $30, the difference between this being 170, like all the other boxes that have been coming out, versus 200, $30 difference, not a big deal. If you're splitting it, it's $15 extra per side, not that big of a deal. But the truth is, it's like, where do we draw the line at? And that's what it really comes down to. Where do we draw the line on principle? Because the Black Templar box was where I drew the line on principle. That was the first box I hadn't picked up for a while. And then to tell you the truth, the Combat Patrol came out shortly afterwards, and I picked up the Combat Patrol because it was a much better deal. In this case, you're not even getting like the codex or the cards or anything like that. This is just another one of those regular battle boxes, and it's just not there. I mean, I really want these models. I'm looking forward to, an Eldar army and getting rolling. But this is just a huge mistake on Games Workshop's part, in my opinion. I mean, if everything was still selling out, like not to encourage their behavior, but I could still see it. But I mean, we see the battle boxes or the like the Christmas battle forces still in stock, the most of them. The Adeptus Mechanicus one is only just now making it to the United States. We see like all the recent like Shadow Throne boxes and all those boxes not selling out. And now they're going to come at us with this one for 200. I mean, what are they smoking? It blows my freaking mind. And you know what? I caught flack recently for the Fury of the Deep box. I did an unboxing on that. I picked it up. I think it's a great set. I think the models inside are awesome. And I caught flack from people on that, saying that that was a good value. Let's look at that compared to this. And keep in mind here, this is 10, 12, 15. This is 16 models in this box set. And nothing but the little mission like flip out book and a couple transfers. Here is the Fury of the Deep box. And this is the one that I was singing praises on because you're getting over 40 models in the set. You're getting the War Scroll cards, which is basically like little mini easy access, like kind of codex cards. It has all their stats, their special abilities, everything on it. You know, for convenience, it's a cool little thing that's in there with them. So you're getting, you know, almost 3 times the models. Now, granted, this is Sigmar. It's not as popular or whatever, but you can't tell me that for the same company to make Age of Sigmar stuff for 40k stuff, that it's that much more expensive. I just don't believe that. But the big differentiating point and why I said specifically that I really like this box and I thought it was a great idea and a great value is that it came with the core rules. And this is like the actual core rules book that you would get in the starter, like the different entry-level starters for Sigmar. If you were going to start playing like with one of their smaller start collecting sets, basically, or like starter sets with like the orruks and the Stormcast. So this book right here is like a necessity to play. So it makes this box not just 2 battle forces or 2 start collecting boxes put together, but it makes this box into like an actual starter box for new players. So you could basically have 2 people that have absolutely nothing, never played this game before, pick up this box. They have the full rules. They have 2 armies that are ready to do battle, and then they have some thematic missions in there, tokens, rulers. All they need is dice. As opposed to, you know, and this came in at 170, and I think that's a great deal. I thought the addition of this is basically like, you know, the rulebook is like $60. So even if you were just going to buy like, you know, the cheapest of the starter sets to get the book, yeah, you get a bunch of extra models with it, but you're paying another $50 on top of that. So we're talking about if you buy this box and you have nothing else, you need to buy either the main book or that other starter box for $50. So you're talking about $220 just to get into the game, but at least you have everything, you know, and quite a few models. As opposed to this box right here, if you got 2 people that are like, oh, okay, this is it, you know, new models coming out, let's split this box together. Now you go in on it, 100 apiece. You don't even have the rule book. I mean, if they were going to jump this up, the extra $30, but they included that 40k rulebook in it, you know, the short version, which is all the rules, all the core rules, but just the mini version of it. Like, it's just not the big, thick hardcover book. Okay, I would get it. You know, you're giving extra, so you're charging extra. Which, I mean, still, they didn't even up the price on the Sigmar boxes, and they included that. So, obviously, they could swing it. I just don't know why they would do it. I mean, I know why they would do it, obviously for the money, but it doesn't make sense to me, you know, to basically like shoot your fan base in the foot. And I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are on the edge about the way Games Workshop's been acting lately and about their pricing and all this stuff. And it's very clear that, you know, sales are slowing. We see that through what's not selling out. The supply chain's opening back up. You know, economy worldwide arguably is slowing down a little bit. People are kind of going back to normal. So there's a little less demand, you know, just because people are going back to their regular lives. People have a bunch of extra plastic sitting around, record size piles of shame. And then on top of that, you want to pull a move like this? I mean, it just does not make sense to me. I mean, let me know what you think down below. Am I overreacting? Because, you know, it's $30. It's not that big of a deal. If we're talking about what I was expecting to be a $170 box, and we're adding on $30 to that, I mean, what are we really talking about? We're talking about like 17% or something like that, just off the top of my head. So is it that much more expensive for a bunch of new sculpts? No. But at the same time, though, the way I look at it is, if this box does good and this box sells out at 200, then every box is 200 from here on out. So it's almost like them just putting a feeler out here and saying, okay, we got a bunch of new models. Let's jack the price up and see how it goes. And it's one of those things where if we buy into it, if we encourage this type of behavior, we're just going to get more of it in the future. So it just makes me want to not even pick this up. It makes me legitimately just be like, you know what? I'll pass on this one. And then I'll wait and see. Maybe Eldar get a combat patrol, just like what happened with Black Templars. Maybe I swoop that up. I don't even know. I haven't checked the Games Workshop site recently, but that limited box for Black Templar probably is still available. I imagine that's going to be still available forever. You could probably walk into any gaming store around the world, and if they had any Black Templar boxes, they probably still have them, or at least one of them, because it was just such a fail. And I feel like this is the same type of thing. This is clearly a pay-to-play type thing, where they legitimately are just jacking up the price because they put new models in here and they know that people are going to want these new models. But to tell you the truth, you know what? It's not like if there was no Forgefiend in this set and the box was reconfigured and it came with like the avatar, sure, I get it. But to put a big staple model in there, or maybe they had a new model for Chaos in there and it was all new models, maybe then. But to put like a big $75 model in the kit, and then in all reality, you're talking about, $200 box for $300 worth of, retail stuff. And then 75 of it is, an old model. I don't know. It just blows my mind. It seems to me like a poor decision on their part. I'm curious what you guys think in the comments. Are you surprised by this? Were you expecting it to be 170 again? I was like lightweight speculating that maybe we would start getting the core rulebook in these boxes. And again, even if they upped the price to 200, but then you got the core book, I wouldn't even be mad. I would be like, you know what? At least that's more appealing to new players, because now they can pick this up and have a couple dice and a couple rulers and at least get going. But the value is just not there in the same way. When they up that $30, it takes away a lot of the value. And I love the new models. I love that they are multi-part kits with lots of options. Again, the $30 is not like a make it or break it for my bank, but it's more like a principle thing where it's like, why are you doing this? Are you upping the price just because we'll pay it? Are you upping the price because it's new models? Is this just you putting out a feeler to see, hey, what could we get away with? If this was a girthier box, if there was more bodies in this, maybe I could get down with it. Even if the value was the same, but it had more bodies in it, maybe I could get down with it. But the truth is, it just feels light. 16 models, $30 price increase on what shoulda, coulda, woulda been a $170 box. How does that make you feel? What is Games Workshop smoking on? What are they doing right here? It blows my mind. But anyway, I really don't have much more of a point than that. It just really blew my mind. And you guys know how I am. I call it like I see it. If Games Workshop's doing good, like that Fear of the Deep box, I'm going to call them out and tell them congratulations. You did a great job. You added more value to a box and you kept the price the same. I love it. High model count, new rule book, great models, great sculpts, new characters. Awesome. But this is the opposite. I feel like we pay more and get less. New sculpts, sure, but less models, less value. No core book? I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm really curious how other people think. Are other people surprised at this? Were people just kind of expecting a price increase just because that's kind of the direction they've been going with it? Where do we draw the line? I guess as the 40k start collecting boxes have all been basically phased out at this point. There's a couple left, but they all but went from $80 to $95 to gone. And now we're moving into the combat patrols, and they're coming in at $140, but again have a lot more value inside of them. It's not like they just took the old boxes and reboxed them at $50 more. They increased them and give you a lot more for the price. This just blows my mind. Games Workshop is effing up as far as I'm concerned. Am I still gonna get it? I don't know. I'm borderline on this one, honestly, because I really wanted to grab this up. I wanted to start a new Eldar army. Eldar was my first army back in the Rogue Trader days. Love it. Love that they got new sculpts. I was looking forward to, putting together these guys, doing a painting tutorial, messing around, But you know what? I'll probably just hold off. Because you know what? I don't feel like this box is going to sell out. I don't think it's going to be flying off the shelves at 200. You know, I like these models. But at this juncture, if the bikes come out for 60, who knows? I might not even want those in my army. I like the boxes. I like the models, but maybe I don't need them. The Rangers, I like them. I'll probably rock a squad of them. The Autarch, I don't know. I'll probably be using like Janezar or Morgan Ra. Like, I don't even know if I'll have an Autarch. We'll have to see. Maybe I want the other Autarch with the wings. I haven't played Chaos forever, so, you know, I really like these models as well. Like to paint them up, but, you know, it really makes me like second guess my purchases. And I feel like a lot of other people are probably feeling the same way too. Man, what a disappointment. This is a real missed opportunity, in my opinion, on their part. Because if they charge, let's say 60 for the bikes, 45 for the Rangers, that's 105, and then 35 for the Autarch, that's 140. So, am I ready to just pay another 60 for everything else? Yeah, sure. I mean, $60 for all the rest of it seems good. But at that point in time, are you basically just buying everything at retail to get like a free Forgefiend? That's kind of what it feels like. Did you even want a Forgefiend? It's just crazy. I guess, let me know what you think. This one just kind of blew my mind, honestly. I'm just rambling kind of at this point in time, but it really caught me off guard on this. I was honestly thinking it was going to go the other way after that Fury of the Deep Box and them including the core rules. I really thought this would come in at 170, and I was lightweight speculating that they would start putting the core rules in these 40k boxes and making this more of a, like, hey, let's get some new players into the game. But instead they went the opposite direction. So let me know what you think. Is this a hard pass for you? Are you still borderline on this one? Is it worth it because there's so many new sculpts in it? Like, if it was just a bunch of old models and it stayed 170, would you be more happy? Is it worth the extra $30 to get, like, you know, basically a whole box full of fresh sculpts? I don't know. I'm on the edge now on this one. So let me know what you think. I feel like this is a poor choice on their part. This feels like the Black Templar box all over again. So Games Workshop, if you're listening, go F yourself. You guys are busters for sure. This is absolutely ridiculous. I think most people playing this game easily could swing the extra $30, but this is already borderline, you know, the most expensive. And I love these new models, but there's got to be a line somewhere in the sand just on like principle. You know, and I feel like this is lightweight where we draw it at. The Black Templar box is literally where I drew it at, because I was definitely planning on picking that up, and then I started looking at it and I was like, man, the value is just not here. I love these models, but it's just not worth it. And I wonder if this can be the same way too. So maybe I'll wait until the Codex comes out and see what I'm going to be using. You know, all of a sudden maybe the Chaos isn't as appealing as it was, and I'll just wait and pick up the Eldar as that kind of swings out. But, you know, I probably would have grabbed two of these at 170, and instead I don't think I would get any now. Maybe I'll just get one, you know, to do the unboxing or whatever, but missed opportunity on my part. So let me know what you think. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.